Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Yai-da-dai-da-dai-dai, bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam.
Bim, 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 bam. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
I got some people here. For those who are watching online, you'll be able to follow in the prayer book as our B'nai Mitzvah lead us through the YouTube website there. There's a Shir Shalom link, and our prayer book can be downloaded and follow along. The rest of us, of course, have our prayer books in our pews. It's nice to come together as a community, whether we're here in person or remote. So you can find someone you're sitting near and introduce yourself to them in the sanctuary here and welcome them. Those online, hey, enter that chat, give a shout out, wish a mazel tov to our B'nai Mitzvah, to Grace and Ellie and to Sam. Let them know you're watching and you're with us as well as we begin our Shabbos prayers this morning.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi, Ata Varata, Ata Yitzarta, Ata Nefachta bi. Ata Meshamra, Mishamra Bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shanatata bi Tehorahi.
In the 13th year of a young man or woman, oh, wait a second. As they get ready to enter high school, when there's a pandemic, whenever we're able to get together to share in the growing up of young men and women and honoring them in Jewish tradition, we call it a bar or a bat mitzvah. It's a chance for them to read Torah for the first time, to teach their congregation, their community from that which he has read. But more than just reading Torah, we ask our students to lead us in worship on Shabbat, to know the prayers of our people and know they belong in a much more part of a more larger and greater community. And although this journey has been long, and our B'nai Mitzvah were to do this almost a year ago, it's important that they made this priority and chose to do it today. And so it's symbolic, I think, as they get ready for this next stage in life as well, that we welcome them to the Bima to become B'nai Mitzvah. To welcome Elizabeth Julia Goldman and Grace Michelle Goldman and Samuel Levi Goldman to the Bima for this honor. Ellie and Grace and Sam are the children of Lori and Howard Goldman, siblings of Kevin Lapine, Ben Goldman, and Kate Goldman, the grandchildren of Irene and Eugene Goretta, Shirley and Clement Goldman of blessed memory. And so we call them to the Bima now to lead us in our worship on this Shabbat morning as Ellie begins us in our prayers.
We turn to page 63 to begin our service. We read responsibly. It is good to give thanks to God, to sing praises to your name. Tell of your love in the morning, to sing of your faithfulness at night. Playing with an instrument of 10 strings, sounding the lute and stroking the harp. Your works have made me rejoice, and your glories move me to sing. How great are your works, O God, how profound your design.
The insensitive will never appreciate your creations, nor will the fool understand life's meaning.
The wicked may flourish like grass, and the evil may multiply, but they are all doomed to failure.
But you, O Eternal, shall be exalted forever.
and
All shall proclaim, Adonai is just.
Let every living being bless your name, and let every spirit glorify our God forever. Throughout all time we will have no ruler but you, our God.
You guide the world with love and touch each of your creations with care and kindness.
You neither slumber nor sleep. You cause the speechless to utter words and the wrongly imprisoned to go free. You support the fallen, heal the sick, and rise up the lonely. To you alone do we give thanks. We turn to page 65 and rise for the call of worship. Baruch et Adonai Hamvra. Baruch Adonai Hamvra le'olam va'ed.
Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Praise be the Eternal, our God, ruler of the world, who makes light to shine and darkness to descend upon us. God has taught us the meaning of peace and shapes of all things that we touch. With compassion, God gives the earth light and renews the work of creation day by day. Marabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita, ma'a ha'aretz kin yanecha. Tit barach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selah, or chadash al Sion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ham'orot. How great are your works, O God, and wisdom you make them all. The earth is filled with your creations.
For the glow of the stars and the work of your hands, let all of your creations give you praise. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may swiftly merit its radiance. Blessed be the Eternal, maker of the morning light.
Great is your love for us and abiding, your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them how to value life. Be gracious now to us with kindness. Guide us with your understanding, so that we might both learn and teach laws of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Blessed is our God, who in love has chosen Israel to be a people.
As we recite the watchwords of our faith. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. Veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam loot al yadecha vehayu letotafot ben enecha uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love the Eternal, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your home and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourself to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path.
Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart.
In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind, O God, in whom we all hope. We glorify your name as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך האלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We turn to page 70 and rise for the Amidah. We pray silently, either following the word of our prayer book or those our hearts might prompt. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Anorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imaot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer Umashiach Umagin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atah Rav Leoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Hayim Behesed, Mechaye Hakol Barachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Chayim Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Hayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nei Eman Atah Lechachayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. Eternal is your power, O God, you are mighty to save. You rain dew upon us. In love you sustain the living, in the multitude of your mercies you preserve all. You uphold the falling and heal the sick, free the captives and keep faith with your children in death as in life. Who is like you? Who is your equal? Author of life and death, source of salvation. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of life. We sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens above and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah we say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech ol haaretz, Kevodo, Baruch Kavod Adonai, Mimakomo, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Tzion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim to your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Our God and God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation day by day. Purify our hearts so that we may be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us make the Sabbath a part of our life and heritage of joy. Look with favor, O God, upon your people, Israel, and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you, who alone will serve in reverence. Eternal source of good, we thank you for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself in its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
Yisbechu ומלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם יספרו ויתן גום טובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your majesty. All who hallow the seventh day shall find happiness in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of joy in creation.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עמך
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of earth. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment region within its borders, health and happiness within its homes, strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands. And may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace.
We continue our service with the reading of the Torah on page 79. As is our tradition, in honor of our B'nai Mitzvah, and in thanks for their love and their kindness, we call upon our mom and dad.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Well, your dad and I, we want to thank everybody that came today, and we want to tell you how special this day is for us. And I know you're very nervous because I did not write my remarks, but your dad and I don't have to write them down because we feel very fortunate. Don't make me laugh. We feel very fortunate to be your parents. You were wanted in such an extreme way, and we're so grateful that God blessed us with all three of you. I thought it would be the same process that it was when Kate was doing her bat mitzvah, but it's a learning curve, and I realize you're three individuals, and you all have your own ways about coming to a project. And no matter how rough it might have been for me and for you and for all of us getting here, you're here and you did beautifully, and we're very proud of you, and we love you with all our hearts and our souls, as does your whole family. And I won't say anything more to embarrass you. You want to say anything? No, I didn't tell you not to. You could say something. All right, we love you.
Our God and the God of our ancestors, as we stand before this ark, we represent the generations of people who stood before you, who have lived and died by your law. Give us the wisdom to understand the words that shall be read from your Torah. Endow us with the sensitivity that can make this law a part of our life and our length of our days. May your words be a lamp unto our people's feet and a light unto our path, showing us the way to a reality that is true and a life that is righteous. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Echad Eloheinu, Adol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo.
Our God is one,
our God is great, holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, haolam, haolam omed.
Our Torah portion this Shabbat is a unique portion because we're following the portion that the B'nai Mitzvah learned a while ago in Genesis for an initial date that we had, so we're continuing to read that as well. So what we're reading is from Parsha Vayera, and Grace will begin with chapter 18 of Parsha Vayera as we call her to Bima for her Aliyah. Ta'amod Gittel Shira Bat Hershel Basara Rishon.
Barhu et Adonai Hamvora.
Baruch Hanayim Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvora Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher Baharbanu Mikol Ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah. Vayera Elav Adonai Be'elone Mamre Vehu Yoshev Petach Ha'ohel Kehom Hayom Vayisa Einav Vayar Vehine Shelosha Anashim Nitzavim Alav Vayara Vayarotz Likratam Mipetach Ha'ohel Vayishtachu Artsa Vayomar Adonai Imna Mitzati Hain Be'enecha Alna Ha'avor Me'al Avdecha Mikachna Ma'et Maim Rachatzu Raglehem Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet Vehaye Olam Natat Betohenu Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah. In my Torah portion, Abraham was in his tent when 3 men in need walked past. Rather than ignore them or send them away, Abraham welcomed them in. Abraham's wife, Sarah, provided the men with hot food to fuel them and a bath to clean themselves up. The men were so grateful to Abraham and Sarah. They thanked them and told them that Sarah would be blessed with a child in 1 year. Sarah was 90 years old. As promised by the men, Sarah had a baby boy. This story symbolizes the power of giving to others who are in need and how sometimes you actually get more in return yourself. An example of how this teaching relates to my own life is regarding to my bat mitzvah. It's very important to my family that I study Hebrew because Judaism connects me to my ancestors and provides me with a community. Although studying my Torah portion was not my own highest priority, my family is extremely important to me in who I am as a person. Therefore, my decision to work hard and to learn my Torah portion may not have been the easiest or most exciting thing to me at the time, but seeing my family proud and happy for me has definitely given me so much in return, just as Abraham's kindness rewarded him as well.
We call our second reader of Torah, Sam, now to Torah to prepare for his reading as well. And with that in mind, we call up the second Aliyah, his mom and dad, and his older sister Kate to the bima now for the blessing for Torah. Ya'amdu, Sarah bat Avram v'Sarah, Herschel, Binyamin, V'Kamano v'Tzivia, Shena Netanya bat Herschel v'Sarah, Shenit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Vayifnu Misham Ha'anashim Vayelechu Sedoma Ve'avraham Odenu Omed Lifne Adonai Vayigash Avraham Vayomar Ha'af Tispe Tzadik Im Rasha Ulai Yesh Hamishim Tzadikim Betoch Ha'ir Ha'af Tispe Velo Tisa Lemakom Lama'an Hamishim Hatzadikim Asher Bekirba
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And now we call upon our third Aliyah, our bar mitzvah. Ya'amod Shmuel Levi ben Hershel Basara Shlishit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Ve'natan Lanu et Torah To. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Halila Lecha Masot Kadavar Hazeh Lehamit Tzadik In Rasha Vehaya Tzadik Karasha Halila Lech Hashofet Kol Haaretz Lech Yaaseh Mishpat Vayomer Adonai Im Emtza Vistom Hamishim Tzadikim Vadoch Ha'ir Venasati Lechol Hamakom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'hayo Ulam Natan Betochenu Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. My Torah portion tells the story of the city of Sodom, specifically how the people living there were not good people. So God wanted to destroy the whole city. When Abraham heard God's plan, he asked, "Will you sweep away the innocent along with the guilty? What if there should be 50 innocent within the city?" When God responded, saying he would not destroy the city if there were 50 innocent people, Abraham questioned him, "About 45. To which he responded the same. And then all the way down to 10, to which he responded the same again, that he would not destroy the city. Abraham challenges God in order to support those who might be good. I believe the meaning of this story is to demonstrate that one's voice holds great power and can be used for great things. This Torah portion reminds me a lot of my mom. She uses her voice every day to help good people who are in need, just as Abraham used his voice to persuade God to save the city. Reflecting on this story and my mom's example, I have decided that I would like to incorporate this message more into my own life. Since I'm beginning high school this year, I will make an effort to use my voice for good in my new school environment. For example, if I see someone bullying someone else, I will make my voice heard by standing up for the person being bullied. Or if someone is too shy to make friends, maybe I can help them by using my voice to introduce them to my own friends. I am looking forward to incorporating this lesson into my first year of high school and all the years to follow. In a lot of ways, that is what becoming bar mitzvah is. I know they say we're adults now according to Judaism, but what does that mean? Maybe it is about living this example more in our lives and doing our best to take the lessons we have learned as Jews all of our years at Temple to help others and make the world a better place.
And we call upon Our fourth Aliyah, Ellie, to come read her portion now as we jump to Genesis chapter 22. Ta'amod et ahava bar Hershel v'sarvit. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamra Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Eta Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Ve'nan Talmanu et Torah. Baruch Eta Adonai Noten Torah. Vayihi Ahar HaDevarim HaEli Ve'ha Elohim Nisa et Avraham. Vayomer Elav Avraham. Vayomer Hineni. Vayomer Kachna et Bincha et Yechiha Asher Ahavta et Yitzchak Velech Lecha El Eretz Hamoria Veha Elehu Sham Leila al Echad Heharim Asher Omar Elacha Beashken Avraham Baboker. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'Hayei Olam Natan B'Tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten Torah.
Amen.
In my Torah portion, God tells Abraham to take his only son Isaac to Moriah and sacrifice him to God as a burnt offering. The next morning, Abraham, Isaac, and 2 servants set out for the place God told him about. On the 3rd day they arrived. Abraham then tells the servants to stay with the donkey while he and his son go to worship. He and Isaac continue to Moriah, the place God had told Abraham to go. Isaac notices there is fire and wood. Confused, he asks his father, "Where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abraham says God will provide one. When they finally reach the place, Abraham builds the altar with the wood and binds his son, placing Isaac on top of the wood. As he goes to slay him, an angel of the Lord calls out to him to tell him to stop as he proved his faithfulness to God. Abraham then notices a ram in the thicket and catches the ram by his horns. He then went over and sacrificed the ram instead of Isaac, which is why we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. In my Torah portion has taught me that even though there are moments in life that seem trying or distressing, everything happens for a reason. Throughout preparing for my bat mitzvah, I have at times felt like I didn't even want to become a bat mitzvah, but with the help of my rabbis, Hebrew tutor, family, and friends, I was able to stay motivated, and now I'm glad to have become a bat mitzvah, because as I stand here today, I feel not only a sense of relief, but a sense of accomplishment as well.
In the presence of the Torah, we take a moment now and think of those in need of healing and strength with our prayers of Mishaberach. As Torah has been a source of hope and strength for our people literally for thousands of years, so does it continue to be so today. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarav Kalei Rachel Hu Yivrech et Cholim. Merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness and anxiety, especially those friends and family we think of at this time. Alyssa Ioto and Ali Alpert, Margot Alpert, Doreen Billet, Rachel Brewer, Michael Brody, Larry Burke, Karen Kasman, Marvin Cohen, Molly Cotent, Jeff Emmer, Barbara Esrig, Sandy Flair, Gracie Goldman, Joseph Goldring, Batiaba Veshepanina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Hank Heiser, Jerry Hoffman, Jane Jacobs, Ephraim Kessler, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Emily Levin, Margot Levin, Barry Levine, Dina Lindquist, Libby McIntyre, Zoe Marcus, Joyce Mazza, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Reza bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva bat Avram Bechana, Aileen Porcelli, Melanie Pohl, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Leslie Harelick Ritchie, Alan Rosen, Morgan Ross, Bruce Rubin, the St. Amand family, Micha Chuna, Ben Sima Freda, Meredith Sellers, Amy Selmanoff, Rita Seidman, Bernard Sklar, Barbara Storm, Helene Wolf, Manuel Zapata, as well as all those battling the coronavirus, to 53,117 American troops who've been injured in Iraq, Afghanistan, the surrounding areas to date, and all the names in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai Ophel Cholim. Blessed are you, God, and give strength to those in need.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheverach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn to page 89 and rise. Havu Godel Lelohenu Utnu Kavod La Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Let us praise God's name, for it is exalted above all.
Hodol v'eretz v'shamayim v'yarem keren le'amo tehila lechol chasidav v'bnei Yisrael am keruvo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
The law of our God is perfect, restoring the soul. The testimony of the Eternal is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of our God are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Eternal is clear, enlightening the eyes.
The presence of our God is pure, enduring forever. The judgment of the Eternal are true and righteous altogether. Behold, I have given you a good doctrine. My Torah, do not forsake it.
Eitz chaim hi lamachzikim ba v'tomechea meushar derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotea
Ellie and Grace and Sam, I'm going to invite your brother, Kevin, and his wife Emily to join your family as we ask God's blessing upon you in a moment and give you some special things as well. On behalf of our congregation, we have a few gifts for you as you complete your B'nai Mitzvah. High Holiday Prayer Books, of course, they're the new High Holiday Prayer Books called Mishkan HaNefesh, which we won't be using yet this year, but we'll get to use it in years to come. It's a beautiful double prayer book that you'll each have, and I expect to see you in the big house for services. Sam, that's a smile. Come on, dude. Yeah, because in 10 days, And then you also have 3 trees that will be planted in each of your names in Israel in your honor from our brotherhood, which, of course, you guys have all been to Israel already. But our hope is that you get to go again and continue that relationship with the state of Israel, and appreciate that as well. And third is from our sisterhood, your first year's dues in our high school in Sisti, and to be a part of the Temple Youth Group. Because, like I said before, it's unique that this happens right before you begin high school, days before you begin high school. We want you to stay involved in Temple. Because part of what this is about is a journey that you have been on and will continue to be on. So first of all, just breathe deep and relax for a moment, okay? I think, Sam, it's good. It's all good, right? Where you made it. This is the part where we get to embarrass you a little, because your mom didn't take that opportunity. I was hoping she would lay it out there a little more. Your rabbis will now embarrass you. Because I'm going to talk about that journey, first meeting you as teeny-weeny infants, right, when you were in the NICU. And then, before we knew it, you appeared in our preschool at Temple, right? And then, before we knew it, you were in religious school, and we were going to baseball games, playing with you, trying not to pay attention to you and watch the game, but you'd be tugging on our legs at, important games that were happening for the Tigers. And then throwing a pie in my face during Purim carnivals. I'm not mad at that at all. And then us seeing you at Camp Tamarack when you were there those summers. And now suddenly these 3 young adults. And so part of bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, is to say to you, you have a community. That this is part of your home, and that will always be there with you. Whether it's difficult or easy, to celebrate life, to enjoy life, to experience things together. And that's part of it. Part of this, though, and this is where the rabbi's job is really hard, because there are 3 of you. And I know, as a parent of twins, that parents of triplets, how much the more so. But for you guys, you are each unique individuals, as your mom mentioned as well. And yeah, it's tough because people are always looking at the 3 of you together. But you each bring something different to this table and shine a different gift into our world that is who you are. Like Sam, there is this quiet strength that comes through you. You don't complain, just take it on, do whatever is needed, and do it with a sense of calm and I'll get it done, and look what you've accomplished. And that strength is going to carry you, not just in looking how broad your shoulders are now and that you can carry the weight of the world on them, but that you really have something within that lifts you up and supports other people that's truly good. And, Ellie, you have this inner kindness and sweetness that just comes forth. And whenever it's happening around, you always are willing to say thank you, always asking what more you can do, always, I can see, concerned about how other people are doing as well. That's a beautiful thing because you notice what's needed in our world and you really appreciate that too. And people notice that in you as well. And Grace, you have perspective that's always able to smile and laugh and roll with whatever punches are thrown your way. You can make all of us laugh too in every moment. Sometimes when the rabbi doesn't want to laugh and wants us to focus a little more, but you make it fun. You bring joy into our world, and that's something very, very special. Each of you exude that in each other. You prod that and make it happen, and I love seeing the interplay in not just this morning, but in all of the time we've shared together. And the gift for us now is your commitment to keep showing up and letting us see that even more so. Because the more you bring all those things into the world and everything else that makes you who you are, the more you truly live what bar and bat mitzvah is. And this day, yeah, we got to torture you a little bit. And yes, as you each referenced, it wasn't the easiest of things to do. It's not about all the Hebrew. It's not about all the Torah. It's not about standing up in front and doing something that's not the most comfortable thing. It's about who you are that we love and who you are that truly is a blessing. And that will always be who you are, and there will always be a blessing we celebrate as we ask God to bless you now.
But before we ask God to bless you, Rabbi mentioned some gifts that we're giving to you, and what he forgot to mention is on your way out the door, there's some reptiles, because we know that you love snakes. And so each of one of you, just kidding. We're done with those. But as Rabbi shared, each one of you brings different blessings into our world through your unique perspectives and the people, the qualities of who you are. And so traditionally, our parents ask God to bless us on Friday nights around dinner, and we place our hands on our children. But we know that it's not just your parents who got you to this moment, that those family members, your siblings standing behind you, your parents, everybody here really was a part of that. And so we ask that your parents and siblings place their hands upon your shoulders as we ask God to bring those blessings into your lives now, just as you bring them into ours.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you, and may God protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Ellie and Sam and Grace, may God lift you up. May God give you the strength to always be you, to bring out all those wonderful qualities, the strength within you, and to bring those into our world. But most of all, may God bless each of you with peace. Peace in your hearts, peace in your minds, and may the three of you help bring a little more peace into our world. As together we all say, Amen.
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור we protect this chain from generation to generation. לדור ודור our lips will praise your name. Our lips will praise your name.
We continue on page 91 with our concluding prayers as we rise for the Elenu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Nothing can fill the emptiness that a death leaves behind. Those who are no longer a physical presence are still alive within our thoughts and our words. Their memories are only a part of the picture. So long as we recall their presence, then their warmth, their friendship, their heart, mind, and thought are still within our souls. We honor and cherish the ones we love by living our lives to the fullest. So on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Myra Shapiro, Bernie Murray, Marty Galix, Joseph Katz, Kayla Deneau, Mickey Silverman, Lola Goldring, Dr. Ricky Bratt, Milton Green, Micah Asneer, Jan Brody, Barry Cohen, the 7,038 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 619,250 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, memories, we add those whose yard sites remark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Ethan Thomas Bean, Dr. Herm Bennett, Arlene Blumenstein, Jean Carmian, Shirley Lichtenfeld Chappell, Charles Cohen, Izzy Emmer, Jeannie Fishman, Irene Gray, Nathan Gulko, Donald Jacobson, Lillian Levine, Bernie Meege, Reba Rashti, Helen Ratner, Leslie Carol Rosenblatt, Shirley Sachs, Mortimer Schwartz, Katie Wasserman, Diane Zupke, along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal Kaddish praise as found on page 96 in our prayer books? Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekrusha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comforts all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Howard, I asked for your father's Hebrew name. I could have looked right here. You guys might not know this if one wants to hold a Kiddush cup. The cup says, in memory and honor of Clement Noah Goldman, Kalman Ben Herschel, education, honor, and to do the right thing is engraved in that. And this Kiddush cup was a gift from your parents in honor of your grandfather, Clement Noah Goldman. And so it's sort of nice, step forward, come on, three of you. You can hold this now. We give thanks for not just the blessings of our youth and the promise of the future, but of the sweetness of time together as we raise the cup and we sing with Cantor the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai,
All the time.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen.
That's it.
L'chaim.
It's grape juice, don't worry. It's high school. It's grape juice. Oh yeah, pass it on. It's so nice. And, of course, just like we did in preschool, remember? On Shabbat together. You guys hold that challah? Got it? Hold it together. Woo! Presto.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. The
Take a piece. Yeah, rip it up.
takeout.
Don't be shy. Come on, rip it apart. Yeah, hold it. Come on. Now go bring it down to mom and dad. Share it with them. Here, you take the whole thing. Walk down there. Bring it to mom and dad, to your brother, your sister. We give thanks for time together like this, especially for the mazel and the accomplishment of Sam and Grace and Ellie, and for all of you being a part of it. Again, if you're watching online and participating, we give a shout out to the three of them so they know who was a part of the service, not just here in person, but of course online as well. As we rise together for our concluding prayer, please rise. We say, Anai oz ve'emo yitain, Anai yavrech et amo v'ashalom. May God give strength to all people. Bless all of us here and everywhere with peace. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Mazel tov, everyone.